Happy Memorial Day weekend, and certainly a good Saturday to all of you watching us at home on KSHSAA.TV. And welcome to the state softball tournament, at least the 6A division thereof. My name is Sean McDowell. Welcome to Blue Valley West High School in Overland Park, Kansas, where we've got a humdinger in store for you today. The 12:30 start is getting underway a little late, but that's okay. These games seem to be moving at a brisk pace. Good luck to the number 8 seed Shawnee-Miss East coming into this game at 16-6. They are going to have their hands full with the top team in Class 6A, Maize, which sits at 21-1 overall. Heather Vaughn's club from Shawnee-Miss East, the Lancers, are going to have a tough time with Jenny Mirowski's team, 21-1 Maize. They can make an argument as being the top team in the state. Settle in, folks. Maybe you're watching us on the internet, and maybe you have that big screen in the living room you're proud of. Pull out an HDMI cable, plug it into your laptop, plug it into the TV, and settle back in. Or just watch on the computer screen. It's your living room. You tell us. Meanwhile, we settle in for action here as Maize, the Eagles, begin to work against SME and Aaron McGinley, the center fielder. A 1-1 count is what they'll begin with. McGinley, very patient, running the count now to 2-1. Maize advanced to this point in the postseason with a 15-0 run rule victory over Garden City. Keep your eye on Kate James today. She had the 2-run homer that really propelled her club to the win. 3-1 now the count. McGinley takes ball 4 outside. She'll get a first. And so this game is truly underway now. Cassie Hughes, the third baseman, will be the batter.
Lancer, third baseman, number 10, Cassie Hughes.
Hughes going to lay down a bunt. Lays it down left side between the pitcher and third base. Executes the sacrifice perfectly. Throw to second. Not quite in time. Take another look. This is where you want to lay down a sacrifice bunt. Right between two players. Create just enough confusion and bring yourself just enough time to get down to first base to take attention away from the lead runner. And Kyra Slimp, the shortstop, will stand in for the Lancers. Foul ball. I beg your pardon, that is Kira Slimp. We have been duly corrected in the press box. Slimp sees this one come up pretty short. You hear all that racket coming out of the Shawnee-Miss East dugout. You've got to love the spirit these teams bring to the field. Very few sports see their benches bring as much spirit, enough chatter as softball. Slimp swinging through this one. That is strike number 3. 2 strikeouts recorded now by Maize. Just couldn't quite catch up to the fastball. And that brings Shannon McGinley to the plate. McGinley, very dangerous throughout this postseason. In their final game in the divisional stage of these playoffs, they beat Olathe North 7-5. McGinley had a very good game. She has a total batting average of .507. And this will show you why with the bouncing single right over the mound. Runner comes in to score right here in the middle of the first inning. We're looking at 1-0. McGinley proving me correct. Chopping one up the gut. just past the outstretched glove of the second baseman. Cassie Hughes, the runner who came around to score. It's a single for McGinley. And Caroline Nick, the Lancers catcher, will come to the plate with 2 away and a runner at first. We have one half of the state semifinals determined, and it's a fact. Both teams are from Olathe. Olathe and their schools have always done very well in softball. Olathe East recorded its 22nd win earlier today, beating Derby in 5 innings. Olathe Northwest will be their opponent later today at 4 o'clock. Northwest, the Ravens, had little trouble with Topeka Washburn Rural. That a 9-0 final in 7 innings. So East and Northwest will square off. What a catch at third base. Very nice job fielding. That was Sarah Glass making the nice pickup. Take another look at this. Webb Gem, everybody. Very nice effort. One runner stranded. Lancers can't get anything solid going in that half inning. We will play the bottom of 1 when we come back. Actually, they did have the run come in. I beg your pardon. So it's 1-0. Shawnee-Miss East leading Maize. We'll be right back. The Lancers in their black and blue take the mound and the field for that matter, leading 1-0, but don't expect the Maize Eagles to take this one sitting down. Shannon McGinley on the hill for SME, and she will work against Maize right fielder Kirsten Parks to begin their half inning in the first. Temperature in the low, actually mid-80s, 84 degrees. According to AccuWeather, though, they say it feels more like 89 degrees. I'm here to tell you, neighbor, it feels every degree of it. It is a muggy, muggy day after all that rain we had in Overland Park yesterday. McGinley now working with an 0-2 count against Parks. Parks, the right fielder for her Maize ball club. McGinley didn't get the call on the outside. Parks lays down kind of a slap single, and she beats it out at first base. Great hustle down the line at first. And Parks is aboard as the Maize Eagles, the top seed in this Class 6A bracket, trying to light a rally, trying to get things going. Emily Griggs, the center fielder, now standing in for her team. She tries to bunt, but this one skips foul. Maize averaging 12.3 3 runs per game, according to Max Preps. And again, we see this often. The good teams seem to get their homework done early. They're averaging 2.8 runs per first inning. This one also jumping foul, so that runs the count to 0-2. And if they don't get you in the first, folks, they'll get you in the second. They average 3 runs per inning in the second. A team batting average, this is unthinkable, .471. That's getting it done. Griggs now, the 0-2. This one's foul too. If you've never been to this softball complex in Overland Park, you owe it to yourself to take a look at this sometime. If you're from the Kansas City area, drive over and take a look at this just off Antioch Road. If you're visiting the area, come check it out. Another foul ball for Griggs. This is a gorgeous campus, a beautiful facility. 210 down each line to left and right to the outfield fence, 230 to the alleys, 235 to dead center field. McGinley dealing. This one's in the dirt, and that'll move Parks up as she was running with the pitch. She'll take second base. So Griggs now facing off with Shannon McGinley with a 1-2 count. And she'll take a little time before she gets back into the box. She knows the opportunity she has. McGinley rocking, whirling, delivering. A little high. Earlier this morning, Olathe East winning over Derby. Olathe Northwest winning over Topeka Washburn Rural. Griggs sends this one back to the mound. Throw to first by McGinley in time. Runner moves to third, though. And so Maize has a runner in scoring position with 1 out. Good sacrifice there by Griggs and a long at-bat. Kelsey Stewart, the shortstop. You're calling 6 games in one day. You slur a few words, folks. Shortstop is Stewart. She will stand in now. 6 games in all today coming up at 2:15. Olathe South and Wichita Northwest. They'll determine the final team to advance to the semifinal division. And they'll face the winner of the game we have here. Stewart with a hard foul ball. And so that's Parks at third, waiting her turn perhaps to come in and hit the dish and score. Single through the gap between first and second. Parks comes in to score. That's Stewart with the liner. That's a 1-1 game. Timely hit by Stewart. She knew a good opportunity when she saw one and jumped on it. Take another look at this. She got just enough of the bat out there to drive it. Actually pulled it to right field. Kate James now the batter. In a tie ball game. Now taken off for second base is Stewart, and she'll have it with a bad throw from the catcher. So that's the second steal of the inning. You can see that speed is definitely the word play or the word of the day for Maize. Here's the 1-0 to James. James back to the pitcher's spot. It's mishandled. Throw to first in time. Still the runner moves up. James sacrifices Stewart to get her over to third, and true to form, it looks as if Maize could come up with a pair of runs in the opening inning. Here's Peyton Jones. She's the second baseman, batting fifth in the order for these Eagles. Speedy pitch gets that call, right hand in the air from our home plate umpire. Got to love our umpiring crew. We've had several crews out here today. This group of men and women have done very good work, too. Here's Jones grounding one over to short. Instead, it's an out at first base. But in the interim, Maize tying this. 1 run, 2 hits. We're tied at 1 apiece between Shawnee-Miss and East and Maize. We seem to have a good one going here at Blue Valley West High School. We will be right back. You are watching KSHSAA.TV. Top of 2 at Blue Valley West High School. State quarterfinal game here in the state softball tournament, the 6A class. We see Maize and Shawnee-Miss East knotted at 1 apiece after 1 inning. Got a good one going here, folks. Get yourself a cold drink and kick back and enjoy this one. Shawnee-Miss East now batting, and Rowan Turner, the first baseman for the Lancers, will lead this one off. The Lancers listed as the visitors on the scoreboard here. Quickly an 0-2 count as Lauren Grimes delivers. An active scoreboard thus far. 1 run apiece per ball club. 3 hits combined. And there's a punch out for Grimes. Her 3rd strikeout on this still young game as Turner goes down, and there's 1 away. Corey Kirkpatrick will follow in her footsteps, the second baseman. Grimes pitching just fine, having struck out 3 of her batters so far. Getting a lot of help from her fielders in that first inning, too. Fantastic crowd on hand for this state quarterfinal game. Looking around here in the bleachers and in the concourses, you see people everywhere. You see team colors everywhere. You see festive fans. You see noisy dugouts. It's a terrific atmosphere for high school sports. 2-2 now. Grimes finding a strike there on Kirkpatrick. Here's Grimes delivering another strikeout, ringing up number 4. And now Anna Cook will come to the plate. She's the Shawnee-Miss East right fielder. Jersey number 4 is what she's wearing. This East team advancing to the state tournament after beating Olathe North a few weeks back. They had 4 players in that game with 2 hits apiece. Many hands make light work, they say. Cook now staring down a 1-2 count. Here's Grimes. This one sent to short. Throw to first in time. That retires the Lancers in order. 2 of them as strikeouts for Lauren Grimes. After 1.5 complete, We're looking at one apiece on the score between Shawnee-Miss East and Maize. We'll be right back. The web address is KSHSAA.tv. I just did it. I hope you will. Go to your Facebook page, go to your Twitter page, go to your email, and send it out to all your friends. Tell them where we are so that they can enjoy this 6A state softball tournament. Sarah Glass now, the batter, leading off the second inning for Maize. Glass, the third baseman for these Eagles. Some of you unfamiliar with the geography of the state of Kansas, the Sunflower State, may wonder as she sends this one hard to third, throw in time to get her at first. Glass grounds out, and there's one out in the inning. Maize, Sedgwick County is where they call home. They are just 20 minutes outside Wichita to the north, I believe. Population 3,420, according to the last U.S. Census. I think a lot of them are here today. And it's good to have each and every one of them. Tori Glauderman, the batter now, with an 0-1 count. Glauderman, batting gloves on each of her hands, sends this one. It will roll into shallow center field, and she finds herself a base hit. That's the third hit these Eagles have found thus far. A pair of singles in the first inning, and the stolen base by Parks enabled them to come up with the ingredients for run number one. Now here's Leah Taliaferro. She is her team's left fielder. Six games in all today, folks. We hope you enjoy each and every one of them, too. Perhaps you have a favorite team in this 6A bracket. Why not watch them all? Perhaps your team is playing one of these teams tomorrow. 0-2 count as Shannon McGinley delivers. That one's way outside, 1-2. McGinley yet to ring up her first strikeout. McGinley, ball over her head, winds, fires. Ring her up. There is that first K that she's been looking for. Taliaferro's the victim. And there's two away in this inning for the Maize Eagles. Kristen Ralph, the ninth batter of the inning. The ninth batter of the order. She lays down a bunt off the very first pitch. Delivery to first in time. That's taken care of business for the most part. Runners stranded at first by Maize. For the most part, a very concise softball game thus far. Score one apiece, and we'll play the top of the third when we come back with Shawnee-Miss East batting. We'll see you back here in a few. Let's play the top of the third inning here in Overland Park. Maize and Shawnee-Miss East duking it out for a berth in the state semifinals, which will be played later this evening. That game will be played at 6 o'clock tonight between the winner of this one and the winner of Olathe South and Wichita Northwest. For now, 1 apiece is your score. Shawnee-Miss East coming to the plate, and Savannah Bellum will be the very first batter to face off with Lauren Grimes. Grimes has faced 8 batters and struck out 4 of them. Played a first in time to get Bellum. So she has faced not the minimum, 1 shy of the minimum. Actually 2. And Erin McGinley comes back to see us. She struck out in the first inning to begin this game. McGinley left-handed batter. Blue and white bat in her hands. Matches her team's colors. Softball should be color coordinated. Ground ball to second. Bloop. Rather funny bounce at second. Runner at first is safe. McGinley, the beneficiary of a funky bounce at second base. Let's take another look. Hit a gopher hole in there somewhere, folks, because the second baseman just had a hard time handling it. That Peyton Jones. Ball popped up, hit her in the chest, and as a result, McGinley inherits first base. We'll call that E4. The first error of the ball game for Shawnee-Miss East. This is Cassie Hughes skying one very high on an overcast sky. Easy to see how this one was dropped. It is bright up there. Yellow ball in a white sky can't always be picked up, and Hughes sees this one dropped. I suspect we'll call that E8. Take another look. You've got to understand how white this sky is, folks. We'll call that E4 as well. Jones having a tough time at second base. First the funny bounce. Came up and hit her. And then trying to make up for it with a play in shallow center field and probably lost the ball. This is Kyra Slimp. She struck out earlier. But now with a golden opportunity with a runner at first and a runner at second. Grimes trying to find strikeout number 5. She's already struck out Slimp on one occasion earlier. Fouled this one back. That runs the count to 2-2. State championship game for 6A slated for Sunday. Yes, it was originally supposed to be today. If you're thinking that, you are not crazy. We had such rain here yesterday. This baseball, softball complex actually looked more like a giant jacuzzi. And now today it looks like a thing of beauty. So hats off to everybody here at Blue Valley West High School, including Cindy Roach, who manages this facility. Big thanks to her for getting it ready for everybody so that we can crown a champion this weekend. Better late than never. Count still 2-2 on Slim. Earlier today, Olathe East advances. Olathe Northwest advances. They will meet at 4 o'clock tonight. Big floater lands high of the strike zone, 3-2. Slimp, another of those 4 players who had 2 hits apiece against Olathe North. This punched out. Strikeout number 5 for Grimes. land that one in the low part of the strike zone. Home plate umpire says, you're out of there. And now Shannon McGinley. Slimp and Shannon McGinley among the players who had 2 hits apiece in that game against Olathe North. Now here's McGinley sending one to second on the ground. It's easily taken care of. And 2 runners will go by the boards. Couple of hits in the inning, actually a couple of errors, runners that reached on those errors. The ground ball ends the inning without major incident. We still have a score of 1 apiece. We'll play the bottom of 3. When we come back, you're watching the Kansas State High School Activities Association softball tournament, the Class 6A division. Come on back, folks. With the sounds of Leonard Skinner playing loudly in the background, we are about to play the bottom half of inning number 3. Shawnee-Miss East and Maize knotted at 1 apiece. Maize about to come to bat, and they will bring the top of the order with Kirsten Parks about to get the medal in her hands. Parks earlier slapped a single and then stole second base. She turned out to be the runner to come around to become the first Maize run, and the only run for her ball club thus far. Shannon McGinley on the mound for Shawnee-Miss East. Parks hard to third. It's handled actually to short with relative ease. 1 away in the inning. While we show you the replay, we'll remind you KSHSAA.TV is the source that you're watching and seeing us on. Please tell all your neighbors, tell all your friends. Twitter, Foursquare, MySpace. Does anyone use that one anymore? Emily Griggs, the batter. MySpace. Griggs earlier in the first grounded out. She was the first out of that inning, which turned into being a scoring opportunity for her club. Griggs looked very, very good in that final game that we were talking about earlier, in which Maize put 15 runs up on Garden City. That date was May 15th. McGinley ready for the 1-2. Swung and missed. Strikeout number 2 for her. McGinley ringing up her second batter of the game. The Lady Lancers slapped their high fives, and it's back to business. An arsenal of pitches that both of these pitchers bring to this occasion. And Kelsey Stewart, who had that RBI in the first inning, the RBI single, hits the batter's box. Stewart with lucky 7 is her jersey. Thinks about bunting and then thinks better of it. 2-0. Crowd clamoring for a little action, especially the Maize fans off to my right. Our broadcast position in the crow's nest just behind home plate. Hard smash to second. Easy throw to first. Bang, bang play, but it's just in time. The Maize fans love it. Not so much for the Shawnee-Miss East fans. 3 batters come to the dish. Nobody comes up with a hit after 3 complete. It's 1 apiece. We will be right back with more here in the state softball tournament. Time to play the 4th inning here at Blue Valley West High School in Overland Park, Kansas. My name's Sean McDowell. Glad you joined us on this Saturday. Happy Memorial Day, and a sincere word of appreciation to everybody who makes Memorial Day possible. Those of you who are serving in our military, have served, have family members who have served, we thank each and every one of you. You've made it the great nation that it is. We're in the top of the 4th here. Maize tied up at 1 apiece with Shawnee-Miss East. 1 run apiece on the board for these 2 ball clubs, and Caroline Nick sending one over the left fielder's head. This one rolls all the way to the wall. Nick around first. Throw from left field. Cut off. Nick will go into second with a stand-up double. And the Lancers seem to be cooking. Line drive looked mighty good. Left fielder tracking it down little by little, but boy, when you hit it that far, it's hard to get them going. And this is what both of these teams do. They both generate a mountain of runs. Bunt laid down right in front of the mound. Play is to first. Runner at third is safe. 1 away. Shawnee-Miss East, no stranger to generating championships. You can date all the way back to the boys' tennis championship they won in 1959. And in a couple of years, that tennis program won both singles and doubles titles in many years. As far as the softball program goes, they're still looking for a championship there. However, the table is certainly set for excellence because that program, that athletic department as a whole, has won 94 Kansas State championships in one division, one classification, or one sport or another. Their school trophy case has more trophies than Carter has pills. Rowan Turner, the batter, having sent that one out toward the parking lot as a foul ball. The 1-1 is also fouled back, so it's 0-2. 1 run, 3 hits for each of these ball clubs. An error assessed to Maize. Turner struck out earlier in the 2nd inning. The 0-2, a little low, 1-2. Home plate umpire Linda Weber right on top of the job, showing 1 finger on her left hand for 1 ball and 2 fingers on her right. 1-2. High in the air, this one will hit the seats. Certainly the net above the seats. Lauren Grimes working an absolutely tough ball game so far. Certainly she's given up the 3 hits, but she has a selection of pitches she can go to. Another foul ball as Turner extends this at bat. Grimes known for throwing breaking stuff, a rise, a screwball, a curve, a change. The utility belt, you may say, is full. Here's the 1-2. Another one of those. Looked like it fell off the table. Home plate umpire says she's gotten a piece of that one. So Turner comes on back for some more. We had all that rain yesterday in Overland Park. Thankfully, none predicted for the rest of the weekend. Not until Monday, Memorial Day at least, when I'm told there is a strong chance of some rain. No rain on the barbecue grills, please. Everybody get their parades in, their picnics, their time in the swimming pools. 1 and 2. In the dirt. 2 and 2. Five strikeouts thus far for Grimes, including one batter who struck out twice. Now Turner lifting this one, and it falls between the shortstop and the center fielder. Now Nick turns the corner at third, and she'll come on in and score, make it 2-1. Lancers, the underdog in this game, the 8 seed, leading the 1 seed 2-1. Again, I think any ball hit in the sky today is fair game. If you could see this ceiling that we're looking at, folks, perhaps our crew can give you some idea of what you're looking at. It truly looks like you're looking up at sort of a gray-white ceiling. There's a little look at it. And I'm telling you, when a ball is hit up there, even from up here, it's hard to get an eye on. Kirkpatrick lays down the bunt. She's out at first. Throw to second, not in time to get Turner. We've seen some expert bunting today. All of these ball clubs proficient with the short stick.
That's your left fielder, number 1, Savannah Bellum.
And now Bellum will stand in with 2 gone. Twirling that bat in her hands. 1 and 2 pitch. This one skied back toward the backstop. 2 runs, 4 hits for SME. The Lancers in front of Maize, the team with 1 run, 3 hits, and 1 error. Actually, I believe it is 1 error. I had 2. This a punch out, the 6th of the game for Lauren Grimes, but not before the damage is done. The Lancers come up with their 2nd run of the game. They lead this one at this point, 2-1. Coming back, we will play the bottom of 4th when Maize sends Kate James to the plate. Look out, tough hitter to lead off the inning when we return here at Blue Valley West High School. Two to one the score at this point. Bottom of the 4th inning in Overland Park, Kansas. We're playing the Class 6A division of the Kansas State High School Activities Association softball tournament. One of these teams is going to play in the semifinal region, semifinal bracket, I should say. Right now, Shawnee-Miss East with a surprising 2-1 lead over a very tough club from Maize with 21 wins. And speaking of tough, Kate James, your hitter, she's tied for the lead as far as her Eagles ball club goes with 12 home runs on the season. She drove in 4 runs the last time this team was on the field in mid-May against Garden City. Shannon McGinley still working from the mound for the Lancers. Fouled off her foot is James. Ouch. We're giving you 6 games in all today, folks. We hope you'll be there for all of them. Olathe East and Olathe Northwest have advanced. They'll meet at 4 o'clock for a berth in Sunday's state championship game for 6A. James lifting this one to left. It's handled efficiently by the left fielder Bellum. And there's one out. Tough out. Very tough out.
Eagle second baseman number 2, Peyton Jones.
Along came Jones, Peyton Jones, the second batter of this inning for the Eagles. She grounded out a few innings ago. She slaps this one back to the pitcher. It's mishandled on the mound. And Jones will have first base.
Eagle third baseman number 6, Sarah Glass.
I believe they'll rule that an error. E1. Sarah Glass now the batter for the Maize Eagles. Glass grounded out as the first batter of the second. McGinley, a little frustrated with herself perhaps because of seeing that batter advance. Popping that ball back into her glove. These pitchers are demanding of themselves for certain. Tori Glaudeman, in the on-deck circle. That ball outside. 1-2 the count. It's a hot day in Overland Park to be sure, but we have some very pleasant breeze whipping through this softball facility. Keeps things very nice. 2-2 the count. Some clamoring in the stands about that call from one perspective or the other. Either way, it's a ball. Glass jacking this one foul. McGinley from Shawnee-Miss East pitching very well, having struck out 2 thus far. That one in the dirt. 3-2 the count. 2 runs, 4 hits for Shawnee-Miss East. 1 run, 3 hits for Maize. Each team has an error. This is Glass driving this one into left center field for a hit. And Maize starting to show its true colors. With a runner at first, a runner at second. 1 away in the inning, and the first baseman, Tori Glauderman, the batter. This inning began with James flying out to left field. Peyton Jones reaching on an error. And then Glass ripping that single into left center field. Now Jenny Mirowski, the fine coach from Maize, on to send in a substitute runner. Regardless of strategy, you know all of these coaches intend and want to get players into this game. For some of these young people, it could be their only opportunity to play in a state tournament. Alexa Eisenbart will be the substitute runner, so she will go in at second base and run in place of Jones. Oh, and 1 the count. So Eisenbart at second, Sarah Glass standing left foot on the bag at first, ready to run for sure, both runners. And here's the 0-1. Fouled off. McGinley in a tight spot here for the Lancers. McGinley's throwing a nice game, but we'll also give Caroline Nick behind the plate some credit for this. She's had a couple of tough plays to make as far as balls in the dirt. Keeps that one in front of her. That could have been much worse. That ball was in the dirt. Did a fine job picking that one up. However, both runners advance. Eisenbart will go into third, and Glass moves up to second. We'll roll that one a wild pitch on McGinley. Just after this game, folks, if you're an Olathe South fan or perhaps you cheer for Wichita Northwest, we've got both your clubs coming up too. That game slated optimistically for 2:15. Don't know for sure that we'll be able to keep that schedule, but we're going to try. We're in the fourth inning here with one away. Reaching out and slapping this one, the play at the plate. Outstanding play from McGinley over to the catcher, Nick. That protects the lead runner and keeps that run off the board. Nevertheless, Glauderman moves up on the fielder's choice. She takes second. Still a runner at third, that being Glass. Maize still armed and dangerous. And Taliaferro will be the batter with two gone. Taliaferro struck out in the second, her only plate appearance so far. This one just a bit outside. The smell of ballpark food permeating the press box. Starting to smell good in here, isn't it? Smells like meat. The smells of Memorial Day. Taliaferro back in the batter's box with a 2-0 count. McGinley delivering. This one's outside. Actually over the outside corner. I beg your pardon. 2-1. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Outside. State championship game for 6A scheduled for Sunday at 2 o'clock. We know an Olathe team will play in it. Olathe East and Olathe Northwest will face each other in a semifinal game later tonight. This one hacked foul just to the left of third base. Glass standing at second. Glauderman waiting at first. High fly ball, left field. Calling for it, but can't handle it is the left fielder. Runner around third. She'll come in and score. Two runners come in on this one. And it appears Maize is catching up. So much for that 2-1 hole. Pretty decent high fly ball there to left field that just kept carrying, and Taliaferro ends up with a pair of RBI on this play. And in the end, it's a 3-2 lead for Maize as they take the lead back. A seesaw battle here in Overland Park. Taliaferro into second with a double. 2 RBI on the play. Kristen Ralph now trying to keep this rally alive for the Eagles with 2 gone. Runner at second going with the pitch. It's a fair ball, home plate umpire says. Linda Weber calls that one fair. She looks to be correct. Runner advance to third as Ralph goes into first. You see this. My goodness. That is a hard ball to handle coming off the pitcher's mound. Granted, it's a reasonably flat surface when compared to a baseball field, but McGinley has trouble picking this one up. And there's a timeout and a meeting on the mound. as the Lancers try to get down to the bottom of the trouble. We started with a tie game at 1 apiece after 1 inning. Shawnee-Miss East came back in the top of the 4th with an RBI. They made it 2-1, and now in the bottom of the 4th, we're looking at a 3-2 score. Both our games this morning not quite as competitive. One game being a 10-0 game, the other a 9-0 game. This sits at 3-2 after, well, the majority of 4th innings. Kirsten Parks hacking this one back toward the backstop. Parks, the 7th batter of the inning for Maize. Looking for their 22nd win on the year for head coach Jenny Mirowski. In the dirt. Runner from first will move up to second. So with Talia Farrow at third and Ralph at second now. Parks with a chance to do some damage with the smallest of hits. 1-2 pitch from McGinley. Hacked over toward third. Ball bobbled. Runner scores. 4-2 as that runner comes in to score for Maize. Just mishandled. Got to keep those gloves down, players. 2 away in the inning, and Maize is continuing to do some damage. One would think that would be ruled an error. And now Heather Vaughn out to talk with her ball club, trying to get down to the nitty-gritty and see what her team can do better to prevent the bleeding from getting any further. 4 runs, 7 hits, 1 error thus far for this ball club from Maize. Shawnee-Miss East, the scoreboard reads 2 runs, 4 hits, and 1 error. Although I believe I probably had 2 errors at some point along the way, but my statistics are not official. We are in the 4th inning at Blue Valley West High School. And Maize really in business to do business here. Chasing 3 runs across in this inning, and Emily Griggs, the batter, the 8th of the inning that Coach Morawski has sent to the plate. High and outside, runner advances with no throw to second. Second and third again. That's Parks moving up. Emily Griggs waiting on the 2-0 pitch. Sent directly up the gut to center field. 1 run will come in and score. The second run comes into the score. The throw not in time. Griggs into second sliding. Throw not in time to do the damage. 2 more runs come across for Maize. Score it now 6-2 with the 8th hit of the game for the Maize Eagles. The home team on the scoreboard eyeballing win number 22 on the year and potentially a berth in the state semifinal game later this evening. 2 RBI for Emily Griggs on that play, and Kelsey Stewart will be the 9th batter of the rotation. McGinley pounding that yellow ball into that brown glove. This one gets the inside corner. Linda Weber on the spot, blue-shirted, to make that call. This one sent down the line and right. That'll do some damage. Runner coming around from third. She'll score. Stewart into second. And just like that, you're looking at 7-2 as the 5th run of the inning comes across the plate for Maize. This could very quickly get out of hand, even though we have 2 outs in the inning. 10 batters now will have come to the plate. In this inning, Peyton Jones reached on an error. Sarah Glass had a hit. Tori Glaudeman moved up on a fielder's choice. She reached on a fielder's choice, I should say, as we see a pitching change coming. Leah Taliaferro, 2 RBIs on her double. Kristen Ralph with a single. Kirsten Park reached in her at-bat. She stole a base. Emily Griggs with 2 RBI on a double. Kelsey Stewart, the 9th batter of the inning that you just saw, also doubling in a pair to make 6 runs overall in this inning. It's 7-2, only 9 hits thus far as well. Now, this pitching change, Kirsten Parks is, I don't have this pitcher. Shawnee-Miss and East making this change.
Now pitching for the Lancers, number 22, Shelby Harvey.
Shelby Harvey, the new pitcher for Shawnee-Miss and East. Heather Vaughn looking for some new blood, looking for a spark on the field. A very tough outing as witnessed from Shannon McGinley. And now Kate James will be the 10th batter of the inning. Way outside on that attempt after landing the first pitch for a strike. 6 runs across in the inning. Remember, it was a 2-1 lead for the Lancers. James hitting this one high in the sky, and this one will land on the turf in right field, just barely fair. That brings in another run. Let's make it 8-2 while we're at it with these Maize Eagles now leading by 6 runs. Their 7th run of the inning. Just a bloop that finds a space between 3 fielders. Look at that. I'm telling you, anything you hit in the air is fair game today. And the beat goes on. Peyton Jones will be the batter. Earlier in the inning, she reached on an error. She also grounded out in the first inning. Sends this one just outside the strike zone. Just off Antioch Road here in Overland Park, Kansas. Maize High School made what was probably a 2-hour drive to get here. A town of under 3,500 people. You know a state championship would mean an awful lot to them. Swing and a miss at the plate, and the inning finally mercifully ends for Shawnee-Miss and East. Maize really bringing the wood that inning, finding 7 runs in that inning. They run the lead now to 8-2 overall. We will play the 5th inning when we come back to Overland Park. You are watching KSHSAA.TV. Thanks for being with us today. The beginning of the fifth inning at Blue Valley West High School in the state softball championships. State softball tournament is the exact wording, I beg your pardon. The Class 6A division. Maize with a real onslaught in that bottom of the fourth inning, seeing 7 runs cross home plate. They run the lead to 8-2. My name's Sean McDowell. Welcome to Overland Park for those of you who are just joining us. For those of you still with us, glad to have you. Hope you'll stay with us all weekend. A total of 6 games today. The State 6A Championship tomorrow, as this one may be in the parking lot. Shawnee-Miss East needs to dig out of a deep hole here if they're going to make it happen. They beat Olathe North back on the 15th of May 7-5. This one back to the mound. Grimes up and throwing to first for the first out. They beat Olathe North, and that was the victory that propelled them to this state championship tournament. And Cassie Hughes strides to the plate. Hughes reached on an error earlier. It was an infield play. Also reached on a sac bunt, or advanced the runners on a sacrifice bunt, I should say. This is a hit to right field. And Hughes is aboard with 1 out in the 5th. The breeze still blowing through the ballpark. I'll tell you, it makes it almost Florida-like here. Steamy, misty. Speaking of mist, Kira Slimp spraying this one to center field. She jumps on the first pitch from Grimes and makes it into a single. Back-to-back hits for the Lancers. So the scoreboard may say 8-2, but Shawnee-Miss East is not dead yet. That brings up Shannon McGinley. This one's high and away. 1-0. As far as numbers for this offense from Shawnee-Miss East, outside corner, 1-1. An on-base percentage of .549 is what they can boast, and a slugging percentage of .667. I'm no mathematician, but that's pretty good. And this one gets past the center fielder. It's going to the wall. Runner around third. One will score. Here come 2 of them. The batter holds up at third. McGinley hangs in there. Just like we told you, folks, it's never over in softball. 2 runners come around to score and make it 8-4 at this point. Kudos to the Lancers. They didn't win this berth in a church raffle. It's 8-4. 2 RBI come around on the triple. That brings up Caroline Nick. Nick popped out to end the first inning, but then made up for it, doubling in the 4th. I know we keep going on about Shawnee-Miss East and their game against Olathe North, as looks as if Bailey Spencer is going to come into the game, so that means the day is over for Grimes. We keep going on about that game. However, with all the offense shown, Rowan Turner pitched that game, allowed 5 hits, allowed 7 hits and scattering 5 runs. 98 total pitches and only walked 1 batter. That's pretty commanding. So with 1 out in the inning, runner at third, Nick will be the batter. That's McGinley, Shannon McGinley, the senior, standing at third base patiently, ready to run. First pitch from Spencer. Lifted just outside first base. Nobody can track that down, so it's 0-1. Slated for 215 optimistically. Olathe South and Wichita Northwest. I don't believe we're going to get that one on time, so be patient. This one is slapped to center field. Runner comes in from third. Nick keeps this rally going. Make it 8-5 with her RBI single. She just rips one past the mound. Spencer's first batter doesn't go her way as Nick drives in the 5th run for the Lancers. It's 8-5. Shawnee-Miss East now with 8 hits on the game. That brings up Turner. Now pitching. We told you about her effort just moments ago. That in the final game that the Lancers needed to get to this diamond. This one slapped to short just in time to throw back to first, in time to double off the runner. Rally and half inning over, but Shawnee-Miss East did some catching up. This one's turning into an interesting game, folks. 8-5 your score. We will play the bottom of 5 when we return to Blue Valley West High School in just a moment. You are watching the Kansas State High School Activities Association softball tournament right here on our website and our webcast from this Niles Media Group production team. We thank you for watching. We've got what we'll call a good old good one brewing here in the state softball tournament, folks. 8-5. Maize looking for win number 22 against a gritty, determined group from Shawnee-Miss East. 18 total hits thus far, according to the scoreboard. We've seen multiple pitchers for both teams. And Sarah Glass will begin the 5th inning. Glass crushing this one, but it's a great play. Cut off it short by Slimp. Great little catch there, and there's one away in the inning. It'll say 1 out in the score sheet, but that is fantastic peripheral vision and side-to-side motion. Good athletic play by Slimp to retire the batter. Shelby Harvey still working off the mound and facing Tori Glaudeman. Glaudeman has singled and reached on a fielder's choice. Eight to 5. The score here in the fifth. This is sent the other way. Single for Glaudeman. This is what Maize does to you, folks. They just stack up hits. Before you know it, they've got 2 and 3 runners on base, and a big hit happens. 19 hits so far in this game.
Left fielder, number 15, Leah Talaferro.
Leah Talaferro at the plate, one of the heroes so far in this game, back in the fourth. She gave the Eagles a double that brought in a pair of runs as part of a fourth inning that saw them stack up 7 total runs. The big inning has really paid off for Maize. Throw to first, no good. That, of course, Glaudeman at first base, getting a kind word from one of her coaches. Talaferro sends this one foul. There's a kind of hush over the ballpark right now. To steal the line from the movie The Matrix, you look like you're waiting for something. These fans hushed, as if something big could be on the verge of happening. Strike 2 from Harvey. Harvey ready and set for the 2-2. This one sent toward first. Covering is the second baseman, and Talaferro is out. 2 away in the inning. Kristen Ralph due to bat now. Jersey number 1. Shining red helmet on her head.
Eagle designated player number 1, Kristen Ralph.
Ralph batted twice thus far today. Grounded out in the second and then had a nice single. This one hit high over the infield. Called for by Harvey, and that will end the inning. The Lancers standing fairly strong at this point, giving up only 1 single in that inning and causing Ralph to pop out to end the bottom half of the fifth. We'll play the 6th inning when we return here to Blue Valley West High School. You are watching KSHSAA.TV. Moving right along, time to play the top of the 6th inning in Overland Park, Kansas, with an 8-5 score. The winner of this game between Shawnee-Miss East and Maize will qualify for a spot in the state semifinals. Those 2 games will be played at 4 o'clock and 6 o'clock, respectively, this evening. It's 8-5 right now as Maize has a 3-1 lead over Shawnee-Miss East. Corey Kirkpatrick, your hitter. Kirkpatrick manages to scrape one across the right side of the infield. 2 diving players can't find it. This one navigating traffic very well on I-435, I'd say. Goes down as a single. We saw it as an adventure. Throw to first in time to get the batter out. That advances the runner up to second. And Savannah Bellum due to be the next batter of this inning. It looks as if Heather Vaughn 5 for 1. So Savannah Bellum will not bat.
Number 5, Maddie Gray.
Maddie Gray will be the batter. Maddie Gray ready to bat for her club with 1 out. Runner at second. Shawnee-Miss and East chipping 3 runs off a big lead during the 5th inning. At one point they led this game 2-1, and then the bottom of the 4th inning happened. And Maize chased 7 runs across the plate. That made it an 8-2 lead. 2-0 now. Give East 3 runs in the top of the 5th inning. That chopped the lead in half, down to 8-5. Spencer delivering, Gray looking. It's 3-1, 3-1. .30 count now. There's that strike I was looking for. Inside corner, some hoots from the crowd. The folks from Prairie Village not that impressed with that call. The 3-1. That runs the count to 3-2. Give Spencer some credit. She's given up a few runs, but she's come into this game perhaps not expecting to pitch. One of the better pitchers in the state in Grimes getting chased out of this game. So kudos to her. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 is dropped. The throw to first. Plenty of time to record the second out of the inning. Seventh strikeout on the day for Lancer pitchers. We're back to the top of the order. Erin McGinley's 4th trip to the plate. She reached on an error in the 3rd after striking out in the 1st and before grounding out in the 5th. Kirkpatrick moving up there. She's at second. Here is Spencer delivering. This one sort of a drag bunt that turned into a wild pop. So McGinley will have to come back. Two away in this inning. East craving an opportunity to put some runs on the board. Here is Spencer delivering. Outside. 2-2. There's some hoots from the stands, but I'll tell you, I'm where I can watch Linda Weber's calls, and she's nailing them, folks. Nailed that one for sure, too. That one's a strikeout. Erin McGinley down on strikes to end her team's half of the 6th. Shawnee-Miss East can't do enough damage to keep the rally going. Only 1 hit in the inning. It's 8-5. Bottom of the 6th coming up here in Overland Park. We'll see you back in a few. The Maize Eagles have a 3-run lead here in the bottom of the 6th inning at Blue Valley West High School, leading Shawnee-Mission East 8-5. Sean McDowell at the microphone here on this Saturday afternoon. Happy Memorial Day to each of you, all your families, and most of all, any of you associated with our fantastic military, men and women who serve our nation. Kirsten Parks at the plate looking for pitches from Shelby Harvey. Bottom half of the 6th inning here. Time's a-wasting for Shawnee-Mission East. They led this game 2-1 at one point. That until the bottom of the 4th when Maize went plain old berserk, coming up with 7 runs. Throw to first in time to retire Parks. 1 out in the inning. Emily Griggs now the batter. Her first trip to the dish since really stirring up some trouble in the 4th. A double that she slapped brought in a pair of runs for the Eagles. Gives you some idea of how these young ladies came up with 21 wins on this regular season out of 22 games. They're just plain old good. Griggs looking at this one, falling in the outside dirt of the strike zone from Harvey. 1-1, you count. Harvey came in relief of Lauren Grimes. This one snagged at third. Right at you, don't move a muscle. Great job of picking that up at third base by Cassie Hughes. And they're 2 away in the inning. And that brings on Kelsey Stewart, the third batter of this inning for the Eagles. Stewart, she's been active as well, 2 for 3 on the day. An RBI single in the 1st. That brought across the first run and then doubled in a run in the 4th. This one hit high in the air to center field, retired with relative ease. 1, 2, 3 in the inning go the Eagles. We're still looking at 8-5. Can Shawnee-Mission East put up some runs in the top half of the 7th and keep this game going? We'll be right back with the answers. You're watching the Kansas State High School Activities Association 6A softball tournament. We'll see you back in a moment. Perhaps the last chance for Shawnee-Mission East. They'll send Hughes, Slemp, and McGinley to the plate in succession. Trailing by 3 runs. If they're going to make it happen, now's the time. Hughes will stand in looking at pitches from Bailey Spencer. Hughes had that sacrifice bunt in the 1st that helped the rally or helped the first run come across the plate. Hughes jumping on the first pitch, popping out the second. No problemo, 1 away. Going to have to show a little more patience at the dish if you're going to keep a rally alive, or build one actually. Kyra Slemp in. She struck out twice and singled in the 5th. Slemp also trying the first one. Heather Vaughn's Shawnee-Mission East club, 16 and 6 on the year. If they could rally and come back to get this win, it would be win number 17, naturally. It's going to be tough with 2 away in their final at-bat in the 7th, but keep hope alive. This is Hughes sending one to center field, mishandled in center. Hughes around second, stopping there. And don't look now, but East has some hope. 8-5 the score, trailing by 3. Get another runner on, and you've got the tying run at the plate. Surely this Maize ball club, the top-ranked, top-seeded club in 6A, wouldn't allow that. First pitch from Spencer is outside for 1-0. Maize has 8 runs, largely by right of a 7-run blast in the 4th inning. This is Slimp lifting one to right field. And like I keep saying, folks, fly balls are fair game today. Slimp reaches on this bloop that just falls in. We showed you what our sky looked like a little earlier, folks, and it may be even a shade brighter than before. You've probably seen, if you're like me and you watch baseball, you've seen games from days of old in the Minneapolis Metrodome where the Minnesota Twins used to play. They had a bright white bubble roof there. This is reminiscent of that. And so the tying run is at the plate. This is Caroline Nick. Nick sending one to short. 1 out. Throw to first, not in time. 2 away. The run comes in to score in the process. That cuts 1 run off the lead, the fielder's choice. And we've got a player a little shaken up at second base. That looks to be Peyton Jones, the second baseman from Maize. Jones trying to walk this off. Collision at second base looked to be, well, not seismic, but certainly dramatic. And as we stand, Shawnee-Miss East is down to its final out. We are in the top of the 7th inning. It's 8-6. Maize, the best team in Class 6A, leads this 8-6. Our earlier 2 games, Olathe East making short work of Derby 10-0 in 5 innings. Olathe Northwest also won 9-0. So to see an 8-6 game would certainly be something different based on what we've seen through the rest of the morning. This one's a line shot to center field. East still hanging around. So 3 hits in the inning. A bloop single, a fielder's choice, and now a single. And Corey Kirkpatrick will come to the plate with a very interesting scenario. The potential go-ahead run standing at the dish in form of the Shawnee-Miss East second baseman. She earlier today struck out in the 2nd. She grounded out in the 4th and then had a single and later stole second base. This one blooped up to first base, handled with ease. This ball game all over and done. 8-6 your final score, as Maize at 22-1 now advances. They have a date coming up later this evening in the state semifinals, as they will square off against the winner of our next game, Olathe South or Wichita Northwest. 8 runs on 11 hits, and 1 error. 6 runs, 12 hits, and only 1 error for the girls from Shawnee-Miss East. And you've really got to applaud the defensive efforts shown by these young ladies from Maize. If it wasn't a great catch at third, it was a big catch and throw to get that double play earlier in the game. That to end the 5th inning. The defense really perhaps the difference for Maize in this game in what was, at least on paper, not that competitive a game, but as it turns out, that's why they play the games. 8-6 your final score, as these two clubs combine for 14 runs and 23 hits. Maize will advance to meet the winner of Olathe South and Wichita Northwest. That game coming up in just about 20 minutes, scheduled for 2:15, but naturally we're running a shade behind. We will have that game coming up for you right here on KSHSAA.TV. Until a little bit later, for our Niles Media Group production team, I'm Sean McDowell. We'll see you back shortly, folks.